it's so easy for people to complain. And I'm not saying that anybody was, well, yes, they
Hmm.
do. I will say that. You hear it all the time. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
what lead
Yeah.
program platform you're
Yeah.
using. They're not good leads. But,
Hmm.
uh, I don't think anybody can really make that judgment call if they're not working their leads and using the system
Yeah.
that's there for them. We're not all going to use everything that Agent Locator provides 100% every month, but
Hmm.
at least know your way around to leverage additional filters and additional campaigns
Hmm.
so that your leads are still being touched. And I
Yeah.
think that's where I think the biggest mistake agents make when you buy leads, because ultimately it's always a cost for us,
Hmm. Hmm.
is you think automatically they're going to come in your dashboard and they're going to reach out to you and say, "Hey, I want to see a house." That
Yeah.
can happen. Don't get me
Hmm.
wrong, it's happened to
Yeah.
me. But 99.9% of the time, it's happened to me because the leads are constantly being touched in some way or another,
Hmm.
which does not mean that I'm sitting behind the dashboard 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It means that I've set the dashboard up in a way that my leads are being touched, and then I'm reviewing the notifications and I'm actually getting conversions because I'm not missing anything.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm really glad to hear that. I think
Hmm.
we have been in such a crazy year, and clearly with everything that's going on now with Ford and the campaign, and now Trump's mad again. And well, I feel like he always was mad, but you know what I mean? I feel like there's still that uncertainty that
Hmm.
as agents, most of the numbers are down for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
And sometimes we do go, holy smoke, last minute, we're in our fourth quarter. What's happening for me in 2026? Which is
Yeah.
why, Crystal,
Hmm.
I always say, and I said here, even in August, start your fourth quarter now to
Hmm.
secure your first quarter of
Yeah.
2026, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So it's never too late. That's the good part,
No.
right?
And it's really what
Don't,
we're doing today that is what we're going to see the results of in 30, 60, 90 days, 3 months, 6 months,
yeah,
12 months from now.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's really hard, and it can be discouraging for many because we're not getting that instant gratification from what we're doing, right? Because it
right.
takes that effort. I was going to say, like, you go to the gym, you can't go to the gym for a week and expect to have fit the jeans, right? It's going to be a process
Oh,
to
Crystal, you
get to
let me
that.
down on that one. Oh,
You got to
shoot.
go more than four
Oh,
times, Tara.
okay. Darn it. I was really hoping to fit into this one
I
pair of
know.
jeans next week. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Hmm.
We're all guilty of it.
Hmm.
And you know what? I was thinking back, and hello everybody. I see you
Yes.
slowly coming in.
Yeah.
I was thinking back to when all of the trainers and Addo did a live webinar. I think it was like December 12th of last year. If
Yeah. It's
I
either
might have the
December or
date wrong.
January. Yeah. I think we'll be
And
doing the same thing, but yeah.
okay,
It's
yeah,
a
well, I
thing.
haven't got the invite yet. So,
We haven't
but
set it up yet.
okay, I won't take it personal.
uh,
But I was thinking before I came on, and because I try to lead everything I do in life with my heart and
hmm.
a form of empathy and a caring attitude, even about my leads. Like it's just who I am. And
Hmm.
I remember on the webinar last year with everybody, and of course we were doing all Q&As. There was a lot of people chirping in the chat section and asking questions for all of us. And one person in particular really was having a difficult time with depression. And it was a difficult real estate year. It was their only job, which it is for most of us, to be honest, and
Hmm.
how the whole gamut of it, because remember last year rates were increasing, so people had
Hmm.
stopped. And I was thinking, gosh, these are the things that people don't understand when you get into real estate, how
Yeah.
much it affects you when business gets tougher. And a lot of agents aren't exposed to the tougher real estate markets, especially for the ones that were a little bit newer, right? They came in during a really quick selling period. And, you know, from that perspective, I just want to let everybody out there that, you know, we're all in this together. As I always say, it's a tough business, and this year has been really tough, which is why we got to keep strategizing.
Yeah.
We got to keep doing everything we can to work on our business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have some things you wanted to touch on? And you know what, Crystal?
No.
Please, everybody, if you have questions, you got to ask.
Yeah.
I'm
You
not
guys,
looking at my chat, so I'll trust you.
you
I'll
guys
trust
do have the chat and the Q&A and all of that. So if you do have any questions directed towards Tara, by all means, feel free to ask them or myself. These webinars are for you guys to really learn and gain value from. And we all learn differently, is how I kind of put it. That's why we have so many different trainers and coaches, because we absorb differently, and Tara's method may align very well with how you want to run your business, and Beverly's method might, you know, align very well with how you want, you know, other person wants to do their business, right? So it's, you know, our combination of all of it.
That's what I was going to say. The wonderful thing about the trainers that you have, and for the first little while, it was me and Beverly, or Beverly and I. Oh my gosh, my mother would have a fit right now. Beverly and I. And I think with all of us, all of the methods can form together. I mean, as much as I'm very big on email campaigns, it doesn't mean I don't make phone calls, and it doesn't mean that I don't do the other things. It's just that I can probably coach everybody a little bit better from the email campaign perspective and the follow-ups and so forth that go. So that's the interesting thing about all of us together is, gosh, you put all of our methods together and we've got one big amazing coaching system.
I know, right?
We should all be talking behind the scenes.
Yeah, are you right? It's just like, the master's program.
True. So bring up your questions. We were going to talk about, and I don't know when you want to talk about this. I'll leave that up to you, Crystal. But at the end of the day, I do have a coaching program that I've had for a number of years that I did put a pause on, and some of you took part in it. It was amazing. I think the number of people I coached was over 180. But I had to kind of put a pause on it because it just became too difficult for me to give the time for the coaching. They were one-on-one coaching sessions as well. And so this year, what I did was I was sitting and I was listening to everybody talk to me about their experiences in the market. And the difficulty they were having with listings not getting showings and things not selling, and gosh golly, deals falling through. You work so hard to get the deal together and they all seem to be really difficult. People just have difficult personalities this year. I kind of think something's in the water worldwide, honestly. And we're all saying it, all realtors. I don't care what brokerage you're from or what province you're in. We're all talking and we're all going, oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
So what I did was I am always thinking and I'm always writing. That's just who I am. And I've written a new training program, and it's called Beat the Market. And I will be opening it up to everybody, and you will be doing it with me. It's going to be in a class setting that I'm happy to do over Zoom. But Beat the Market is basically about believing in yourself, engaging the people that you have coming forward, your leads, your pipeline. It's also about acting. What are we doing to reach those people and nurture those people? And it's about tracking them. What is your scale? What are you doing? How are you going back to them? And it's a mindset training program. I've got a workbook. We're going to have a little bit of a kit for everybody. It's very, very minimal, the cost, very minimal, but I'm really excited about it. I've done a test to some other agents with it, and they are like, this is one of the best things I've ever seen. So, I will let Crystal put my email back up. But if you just want to know a little bit more about it, it's going to be starting January 1st. I'm going to host it with maybe 20 people max. I can do in person or I can do Zoom, and we're going to start it. And basically, it's just fortitude, focus, and foundations for real estate success.
Mm-hmm.
Let's all just kind of figure this out together. I hope 2026 is a better year. I really hope. So just remember these words. Beat.
Yeah.
We can beat the market. Okay. Awesome. We've got questions, right?
You betcha. Did you want the email in here, the manager one that you sent, or your personal
you can do mine. The Rogers is fine. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Tara Baylis at Rogers.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm not going to do a website or anything like that, like I did with my coaching. But it is pretty phenomenal, and you're gonna absolutely love this. You're gonna love it. Okay, what's our questions, girl?
Awesome. So we've got, I'm gonna go back up here. So Sabrina is just asking a question. Do you recommend, or do you use the bot, I should say? I'm not sure if you do. For the SMS, she says that she found that leads respond better to the bot than my text messages.
Oh, okay.
I would almost
say
you answered your own question.
Yeah.
It's working better, because the bot is creative. It's actually quite intelligent. And as you can tell by a lot of those conversations, the lead has no idea that it's a bot. It is very
it's designed to sound like you, correct?
Yeah.
In a way? Okay.
Yeah, because it'll actually, it doesn't have emotion, but it can, obviously, but like it can sympathize with somebody if they some bad news or whatever. It'll actually sympathize with that, and then maybe I'll check back in later. But really get the questions answered that are required for pre-qualification, right, to help some of these leads when they're first searching or what have you. So timelines, what they're looking for, where they're looking for, why they're moving, current situations. Things like that. So, and you can learn from the bot too, right?
So
you
Sabrina,
can learn.
You know what I want to ask her? I don't mean to interrupt. Oh, here comes Storm. Yeah. Get ready, everybody. Sabrina, what makes you say that they respond better to the bot? I'm interested in knowing. And when you say respond better, do you mean that they're replying to the bot? Is that what you're finding? Because sometimes what I'm wondering is they reply. Okay, so they're replying. And once they start replying, Sabrina, are you able to then take over and actually get them, let's say, in your car to show a house? Or are you finding that you think it's successful just because they're replying a little bit more? Okay. And John, what's John asking? Not yet. Okay. 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 So here's what I would suggest for Sabrina and maybe everybody else that has the bot. I think the bot is really good to start engaging the conversation, especially if they are replying back. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, Crystal, because I've always said no to it on my site, you can kind of gauge it to ask certain questions, right? That may be for your business. No? Okay.
No, we're talking about so the AI bot is, so everyone we have a lead, or most of you, when the lead comes in, they're added to the, let's say, the buyer drip campaign, which asks questions, lets them know that you're setting them up for a search, and really it's geared to get the lead to respond. So as soon as the lead responds to the text message, if the agent doesn't react to that text within 3 minutes, the bot kicks in, and the bot starts to ask the questions that we as agents would be or should be asking to help pre-qualify these leads as to, again, what they're looking for, motivation, timelines, things like that. So, so that, in hindsight, it's a good tool for many who may be busy, right? So if a lead is responding to us, we're not ignoring them because we're, busy giving our focus on a client instead. The lead is getting tended to by the AI bot, which will also notify you if it gets to the stage where the lead is now at a point where you should be following up as an agent. Like this requires follow-up. And it will pop back in periodically as well. So if the person's like not buying now, or their search is on hold and it's got that attribute on it, it will check back in with your lead as well. just to
Okay.
see how things are coming along. Do you need anything from me at this stage, kind of thing?
So I think it's important for people that are using it to know that they still have to figure out what their continued follow-up is going to be, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's taking basically out of conversion, this is my opinion only, step one or two for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where maybe you don't have to worry about, on day one, if that's what you do, making the phone call because you know that the bot's going to step in for you and kind of handle. And I think Sabrina said she gets 5 messages with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
really, even more so, everybody, just look at yourself and just say, okay, going forward with every single lead, once the bot is done, what am I doing to take over? Because that's really good at the beginning because it's important that they hear from you, whether or not it's the bot or a phone call or an email drip or
Mm-hmm.
all, whatever you choose to do. All is good, probably better. All is
Mm-hmm.
good,
Yeah.
but you still got to step in and you still got to do something with this lead,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I say, Sabrina, that's what makes you comfortable. Then keep on it, but just know you've got to create a plan of action going forward for each of those leads, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we
Okay.
still, like she said, she does call the leads, which is, I
Yep.
always say
Yep.
every text conversation, regardless if it's a bot or yourself, we still want to pick up the phone and call them, right? We don't want to just kind
It's
of leave them
important they
hanging.
know. Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
are human. You are a real realtor,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Doug is saying, I'm always challenged by email campaigns regarding frequency and length of campaigns. How intense the campaign when we have not made contact with the lead?
Yeah, it's a big question, Doug. So I started email campaigns back when realtor.ca was first came into fruition. And we weren't buying leads back then. We had only just had the internet. So I guess that's kind of aging me a lot, isn't it, Crystal? Ooh. But that's when I realized the importance of a good email drip because when realtor.ca first became a thing, on every listing online, there was a little button that they could press that said contact the realtor for more information.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they didn't give a phone number. And back in those days, because internet had just came, we really did our conversion over the phone or at open houses. Those were, or door knocking, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Those were our
Mm-hmm.
only, it was pretty much talking to people. So when that happened, Doug, I kind of sat back because sometimes they didn't give a phone number when now all of a sudden we had these leads coming into our email. And I really had to think, how do I get these leads to converse to me like I do when I'm talking to them on the phone? And so that's what I did. I created an email drip campaign that really did sound like Tara, that very non-salesman approach. I knew instantly that I was going to treat every lead how I like to be treated when I step into a store or a car dealership, or, when people jump on
Yeah.
you and they follow
Yeah.
you around, I'll walk right out of the store. That
Mm-hmm.
that is who I am. Like, and I try to be nice. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not like terrible, but I'm like, I can't deal. Like,
Yeah.
so that's what happened, Doug, is I just started creating an email drip campaign based on how would I respond if I were in their shoes. And I knew that it couldn't be every day because that would be two salesmen if it were me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you take a step forward and you look and think about the business you've done, what the people that you've done business with have really said about you. Doug, you were great. You gave me all the information I needed. You were there when I needed you, but you weren't pushy. Start your email that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are your strengths? So what I realized as well is when people, and this is when I started buying Google Leads, even before
Mm-hmm.
Agent Locator, I knew right away that when people land in our dashboard, they're there to see listings. That's what they want. So as I progressed my email drip campaign, I never lost sight that every single day, the only thing that matters to these people is that they're getting brand new listings
Mm-hmm.
and it has my name on it. So my email drip then was based on if they're getting listings every day from me, I'm only going to send them one email a week, which is from Tara. You know, hey,
Mhm.
Beth, I hope you're enjoying the site. I just wanted you to know that I really appreciate you being loyal and checking out these listings. I'm here if you need anything. There's my first email on day 7, right? And so that's how I created it. So you can do the same thing. If I can do it,
Mhm.
anybody can do it,
Yeah.
Crystal.
Yeah.
And then every month I gradually increase it. So every
Mhm.
month I tweak it. Some emails I might take out and replace with other ones. And now it's about 190 days. Every 7 days. Sometimes I do every 15 days. And then I'll throw in an occasional text.
Yeah.
So I think if you
Mhm.
just start that way, start with maybe creating 4, right?
Mhm.
4 emails. And now you've got a 30-day drip,
Yeah.
right?
You betcha. And
And
you
I
guys
can help you as
do.
well.
Yeah, and you guys, like, you have the buyer campaign that triggers that you can add emails. So you can modify it. So you can have some of the original messages that go out. Maybe
Yeah.
you substitute a text message for an email or
Sure.
add more.
Sure.
So you can elongate that campaign. So maybe emails go out even if you've made contact with them because there's just added value or nurturing type emails. And you guys also do have in your system follow-up campaigns. Most of you, if you don't have them, and then we can add them in there, pretty click of a button. But like the hot, warm, and cold. So if you are actually using those pipeline statuses, you can set it so that those nurture campaigns, which are just soft touches, a little bit of added value, or just, hey, just wanted to check in, make sure you don't need anything from me still at this stage. You know, those type of keep yourself
Yeah.
top of mind.
Yep.
Those type of communications. So it's really to assist you with your follow-up game, not replace you. Because again,
Yeah.
we want to have, you know, in many cases, it'll be phone, text, email, right? We're touching all the communication channels. And, you know,
Mm-hmm.
depending on if
Mm-hmm.
they are hot, warm, or cold, the frequency of those communications obviously differ, right? Somebody that is a cold lead is going to get more emails and they'll be spaced apart than they do text messages because they're not at a stage where we need to be constantly personally reaching out to them because we know they're cold for a reason. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess my biggest thing is I do think that it's important for everybody on the system to have an email drip campaign, whether or not you're using the Agent Locator one or
Mm-hmm.
you want to do one on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have it all. You have to have a drip campaign that's going out because you're not going to be able to call these people every week or every 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
especially if the market picks up.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to have that schedule, you know? And the nice thing about Agent Locator is that when you do create an e-campaign or modify the one that's there, you can even incorporate in it a task to remind you to call them. So maybe on one week you're not doing an email, but you get a notification saying, hey, this is the week that you call Beth and you touch base and you introduce yourself, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it starts with that for sure. But just always view it, everybody, as how do I like to be treated? And if you then go forward with your leads that way, that has gotten me more business and more of my conversion and my conversion rate with Agent Locator. And I do buy quite a few leads, is over 70% every year of my business is coming still from Agent Locator, even in bad years. And honestly, the biggest thing my people say is, I loved your approach even before I met you. It's very soft. So I think whatever you do, even if you don't want to create your own, go into the system and remodify it or use it as it is. There are actually some pretty good drips there, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hope that
Yeah.
helps. But you can reach out to me,
Mm-hmm.
Doug, if you need any other help. Okay.
Perfect. We've got Isaac. What
Okay.
do you think about teaming up, finding someone to work together? I'm looking around here in South Florida.
Do you mean partnering? There's it. So Canadian real estate, we kind of have a partners, which, you know, you're joint partners in the business. We have teams where you have a team, maybe you're a team lead and you decide that you want to get a buyer agent who can also be back up to your listings. I've got thoughts about both. I've got big thoughts about both. So let me know, Isaac, what it is you're thinking, or are you just thinking about a buddy system that you can go door knocking with? I'm super, super, super pro on all of them. I think at the very minimum, all of us need an accountability partner, especially when it comes to working our leads. I think that if you kind of join up with somebody
Yeah.
else, you time block together and you hold each other accountable, you guys are going to have way more conversions.
Yeah.
Way more. We can't help but be competitive with one another, and we also don't want to let each other down. So let me know. Let me know what you think. We'll find that out.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Great question, isn't it, Crystal?
Yeah. It is a great question. And I know
Great.
I've, you know, in the past, it's make sure you have your, because I've seen it, heard of it, dealt with it here, where partnerships, you know, it's not written in, you know, all the ins and outs, who gets what deal and what have you. If you're bringing a, you know, it's a friend or family, you have to have that already preset.
You know what? It is so true. I'm the manager of the brokerage here. And honestly, because, you know, you see behind the scenes, even at a previous brokerage I was at, if anything goes awry, even if you decide to be a team and you're going to be a team lead and have team people on board, team agents, everybody has to be on a contract. You know, if things go sideways, you think you know somebody. And let me tell you something, I guarantee you, you're going to be in for a shock. So always everything has to go in writing. But I do think it can really work and work really well, even with everything in writing, because you both have the same interest at heart to be successful in your business together, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
We have John here asking, if the bot is deactivated because I spoke to the lead, can this be reactivated later? So John, for one, the bot will not turn off if you talk to the lead. It'll keep going. You would have to turn the bot off, okay? Unless you're jumping into text messaging and you're now messaging that person. So you respond to the lead instead of the bot, and the bot turns off. Regardless of how the bot turns off, it cannot be turned back on. Once it's off, it's off. You've now taken full control of that conversation and responsibility for it.
But just for the lead.
Just for that lead. Yeah, just for that specific lead. Yeah, once it's off, it's off.
Okay. That seems okay to me. I mean,
yeah.
I guess if you're on the system and using the bot and you would want the bot to take back over again, I could understand that might be a little bit hard. But I think it would make sense that the bot would get shut down and now you just do you, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that would that not be, maybe I'm wrong because this AI thing is still a little bit difficult for me as an old lady, but would that not be really what the purpose would be? Just
because
to get you in the door, right?
And the thing, it gets you in the door, and you really wouldn't, because the bot's not going to know of any verbal conversations you've had with this person. It's going to treat it as if there hasn't been any, right? So it could essentially, if it was to reactivate after conversation, could be asking questions that you should very well know because you just discussed it in conversation, right? So it could essentially make you look a little silly. And that's not what we want. That is not what we want, right? So unless there is some sort of fancy thing out there that could dictate all of that conversation and throw it in the bot so the bot's aware, but that's like, I don't even know if there is a thing, right? So
oh my God, I got a headache already.
I know, right? Yeah.
This is a lot for me.
Let the bot initiate conversation. Once you take over, that's now your conversation, right? Everything, whether it's calls or text, it's now your personal touch.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully that helped you, John.
Yeah. Isaac, you can go to, are you part of our Facebook group? Like our Agent Locator clients Facebook group?
Ooh. Yeah,
Because
it should
that's a
be.
good place to kind of see if somebody's in there. Let me see if I can agent locator. I'll see if you're in here. If not, well, you know what? I think if I just put it in the chat, you should be able to either click on it or join, one or the other. So, because yeah, that would be able to, then you can ask in there if there's anyone in the area that's on there. And then, so John's just saying, I wish AL revamped its actual. We have revamped our campaigns. You probably just have a
Yeah.
lot of the older ones in there still. So, but we do revamp them. And a lot of our campaigns, when we do, I always say, even if we've built them, go in there, go in there and change some of that communication. You want the communication to sound like yourself, right? You have the bones of what the context of the email would be, but would that be how you would explain it to somebody, right? Or how you
Right.
would want to communicate with them
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
subject, right?
Yeah.
So I always encourage going in and checking and modifying anything that we've done as
Yeah.
well. So yeah.
And they did. Like some of the campaigns are actually really good now. Gosh, it wasn't that long ago. Sometimes I don't think it's all the time, but sometimes they'll send me a couple of the campaigns and they'll say, can you put your eyes on it and make tweaks? So some of them I've looked at recently, especially in the last year, have really been stellar. I'm not going to remember what the names of them were.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And it is true when you open up your dashboard, and I've been on the system for so long. I mean, there must be, it seems like hundreds in there.
Yeah.
So, and I think you really pay attention to the agent locator emails that get sent to you because I think they're really super informative. And maybe if there's a new campaign, I think it would be in the email, right? To notify
It goes,
everybody.
yeah, and like it would be like an update in there. We would announce it, or definitely on trainings, or if we start. And some of them are just like we enhance the initial campaign, right? But that typically kind of just updates the system moving forward. So,
Right.
any existing campaigns you have, we may have eliminated some of them, but because you came on board when we first installed them, and then now they're in your system, so you could always, so anyone that's watching and that's on right now or watching afterwards, by all means, you could reach out to our support team and you can either schedule a training, you can ask just to see if your campaigns are all up to date, because it's really very little effort on our part to make sure that it is. So,
And maybe remove some of the old ones too.
yeah, because some of them are just like garbage, like it's
Yeah.
a lot of them are
Yeah.
the same thing but slightly different. So there's no
It's
no
true.
need to have, and so it can get
Right.
confusing and
Right.
overwhelming for some people. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Hopefully that helped you,
absolutely.
John. Hopefully. Will you, sorry, Tara, will you share your campaigns? I'm definitely, I don't really share them too much. I used to, of course, when I had my coaching program, but anybody that does the B.E.A.T program, I'm happy to maybe share. I'm also happy as well, John, to talk with you and kind of help get you in the groove of how to build your own campaign if that's what you want to do. So all you have to do is just send me an email. I don't mind at all, at all, at all. I'm happy to help. That's what we're here
Awesome.
for, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, listen, as much as I help others, you guys help me too, because everybody's got really good tidbits in this business.
Yeah,
They
it
do.
does.
But
Absolutely.
Isaac, you didn't answer, I don't think. Did I miss it? Whether or not he's looking for a partner or a team?
No,
No?
he just said a buddy, so he's got the link for the group, and
Okay.
yeah, it's
Okay.
oh, I got
I'm
the wrong
certain
link.
you'll find somebody. What about in your brokerage?
He's looking for
Is there
somebody with
anybody in your
agent
brokerage
locator.
that?
He's looking for
Oh,
agent
okay.
locator partner. Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
got
from the
it.
sounds of it, I know we have some down there. Like I
I'm
know there are. Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
I'm positive.
Yeah.
Yes. But Isaac, you could also buddy with somebody even in Canada I think the principles are the same. If you can't
Hmm.
find anybody, reach out to me,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
They do have some of that. And, or it could be like working the leads together too, but
That's an
that's,
interesting thing. I think that for a long time when I was buying leads, of course I was buying them, strictly for the areas that I was working in and so forth. But,
hmm.
if you know an area really well, you grew up in an area, but now you live in X, don't be afraid to purchase leads outside of the area that you currently live in. We
Hmm.
all have great referral partners all across, whatever country you're in. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll buy like in different areas that I grew up in. And a lot of my high school friends are realtors, and I'll do my thing here
Yeah.
on this end, and then I refer them. And you know what I mean? You can get
Yeah.
whatever your referral fee is.
Yeah.
I think it's really good for us to have such a big open mind about what we can do with this system. And we automatically think, well, I've got to get them in the car for me and I've got to convert. But
Hmm.
sometimes there's a wider picture
Yeah.
for you to be able to help somebody else's business. And then, you're
Hmm.
making some coin too.
I'm back. Yeah, exactly. Those leads that they're telling you they're moving to another area and you kind of scrap them to the side. I was like, well, no, that's a referral opportunity for you, right?
Keep working
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Keep working it, right?
Yeah. It's,
The biggest thing with the leads that I found was building the trust. And I think that's why if you're going to be calling them right away, and everybody's got a little bit different on what they do, some like to call as soon as they come in to the dashboard,
mm,
others call it different days.
yeah.
At the end of the day, whatever you're saying, whatever you're emailing, whatever you're texting, has to be in a way that's going to build these people's trust in you,
Hmm.
right? Um, and trust is what makes them want to ask you questions and want to converse more with you. And I really truly believe that a lot of deals get lost, number one, from lack of working them at all. They're sitting in a dashboard, and all they're getting is listings. And if they're not opening the listings, then guess what? They're not getting them at all
Hmm.
because Google shuts it down, right?
Hmm. Goes into promotions or
Or
updates.
you're so hungry to have a conversion, right? You're so
Hmm.
hungry that your approach turns them off, and it's a real fine line. But I like what we were saying the last time we were on, Crystal, and there was that we were talking about the business planning, not the last time, the time before, and we had that girl who was really upset. She was really frustrated with her
Hmm.
business.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
sorry if I
Yeah.
forget your name. I'm sorry. She did reach out to me. I sent her my business plan. Um, and she was really frustrated. And it was frustrated because the belief in herself diminished. The cost of what it was costing her was rising, and she was getting stressed, and she didn't have a deal. And all of that builds up, and we all
Hmm.
feel it. Like you know what I mean? We're all human, but it was truly coming across in such a way that
Hmm.
I truly believe was diminishing her chances of any conversion.
Yeah.
Um, and that's where mindset has to come, mind over matter, right? So when
Yeah.
those days get dark for me, everybody, and Crystal, and I'm not immune to feeling stress.
Yep.
Trust me. There's no halo sitting over this head. I mean, you can ask my son. He's on here. I'm like, "Rah."
Yeah. It's, and we refer to that as like the valley of despair.
It is, but you
And you're on a
have
pendulum
to,
and you're going like this, and you got to get
yeah,
enough momentum to get up over the valley again to
right,
keep the momentum going. But it's
right.
I think every business and even individual outside of business goes into a time of valley of despair where everything just seems to be like coming at you or falling apart,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
then it takes one thing to all of a sudden just go, phew, and you're back up and at it
right.
again.
And it
Yeah.
starts with your head. It
Hmm.
starts with your mind. So I really try, and the one thing that this course beat that I really put in there strong, because I
Hmm.
talk about this so much on Agent Locator, and I think I've been doing these webinars now. I don't know if I'm 4 years in, maybe. I
I'm not
keep
sure.
talking about mindset, and I know sometimes it sounds maybe cliche, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a human. I'm no different than anybody else here, and I'm on my own, and it's only my income, and I know that I have to produce. Like we have to produce to survive. So if I have those days where I'm feeling a little bit, oh, like I can't take this anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
I self-check, and it's about self-checking, and I self-check myself hard, and I'm like, all right, now I'm letting my mind control every aspect
Mm-hmm.
of me, and that cannot happen,
No.
because if I allow that to happen, every single one of my deals are going to fall apart. None of these leads are going to work with me, and that's just something I will never allow.
Mm-hmm.
And as easy as maybe it sounds, it's really what I call digging as deep as you can dig in order to get the fortitude to just move forward.
Yeah.
And then, it's amazing. Once you change your mind and your attitude, you're no longer negative, you're
Mm-hmm.
now positive.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay, lead. You don't want to work with me. That's okay. I'll move
Yeah.
on to the other one. Like, believe you me, you got to fake
Yeah.
it till you make it, right?
And not take it personal.
Everything does start to come together,
Mm-hmm.
but it
Yep.
starts here, and it
Yeah.
starts here with everything you do. The drips you start writing, the calls you start making,
Mm-hmm.
everything
Yes.
starts with your head. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So Sabrina is also asking, I have a few leads that are constantly looking at properties on my site. However, she let me know she's working with an agent. That gets
Mm,
very frustrating
yeah.
because there's nothing I can do. Do you
Yeah.
have any advice with those leads?
So once in my entire time of working with leads, I've had somebody that was working with an agent start to work with me. They were not happy, but they waited till after their buyer contract ended.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't go after, clearly. I would never, but I do say this. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Just so you know, you can enjoy the site. You're already set up to get listings. But if anything changes with your agent, just know that I'm here to help.
Yeah.
And then I let them do them.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one about 6 months later came back to me and went, listen, it didn't work out. This person was way too pushy. I'm no longer under contract with them. Can you take me out to see
Mm-hmm.
houses? So,
Yeah.
and when that happened, just so you know, because I am so by the rules, I did ask them to show me a copy of their buyer rep that showed that it was expired.
Mm-hmm.
But just let them know that you're there if anything
You're
changes.
there. Yeah, they're constantly
Remember,
looking, and that's the part where we're focusing on what we can't have, right? Rather than what that's sitting in front of us, and it's very frustrating when that
it's
happens.
frustrating. But remember, Sabrina, just because this person may have an agent, if you approach it with kindness, and helpfulness, you never know who they will refer to you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for those that have been on my webinars for the last 4 years, how many times have you heard me say, my agent locator leads refer me business? And some of these leads I've yet to ever do a deal with them, but they've
Mm-hmm.
given me business. It's
Yeah.
happened multitude of times. So
Mm-hmm.
I always try, and this is where my mindset crystal kicks in. When somebody sends me an email or a text that says, sorry, I've bought already, or hey, I've already got an agent, I look at that from a positive perspective. It shows me that the people that are coming into my dashboard are buying and want to buy houses,
Yes. You're like,
right?
I've got
So
listings.
yeah, like I'm like, see, this is why I invest in
Yeah.
Google Leads. This is why I do it. You might already have an agent, but you are still a Google lead that's still looking and wanting to
Mm-hmm.
buy. So I'm
Yes.
good,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. You're
But
right.
just
And
keep the faith. You'll do
there is,
it.
yeah, there is. And I'm going to post in here as well. I don't know if you guys do, any of you guys have signed up with Dale. He does all the sales coaching from the conversation standpoint. This is like a 15-minute clip that he has that specifically on that I have an agent and how to communicate with the lead when they tell you that. You know, the
Perfect.
questions that you could be asking and so on to determine if, in fact, they are actually working with somebody. And
Well, a lot
also
of
if they
times they're
are,
lying.
they
Yeah.
are. And so even if
Yeah.
they are working with somebody, wondering, you know, learning what your competition is doing to earn that business. So there's a question you can ask: what was it that made you choose this realtor? Right. So you can learn, okay, if it's
I
family
love that.
member or what have you, right? But then if they're doing something kind of special
Yeah.
on the side that's like attracting buyers, then you want to know that, right? So it's, but then still let them have like the listings. It doesn't hurt you to keep them in there, right? You can put them in a different
Listen, I don't
category.
delete. I
Mm-hmm.
don't delete unless they tell me to delete, because never say never. And my experience has been multiple times
Mm-hmm.
that they will still refer me, even if
Mm-hmm.
they don't use me.
Yep.
So it's the bigger picture. This, what do I always say, everybody? I've already bought the lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've already
Right.
paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
So why, let's
Yeah.
see what else I can get from it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's where that
Absolutely.
mind over matter really
Mm-hmm.
kicks in.
Yep.
And
And
that's
those
why
leads, go ahead. Go
sorry,
ahead.
that's why I'm, pretty successful at converting
Mm-hmm.
Google leads and I truly believe it's the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's the mindset
Absolutely.
along with, making sure that you view this as a pillar of your business, that you're not
Mm-hmm.
just letting them sit
Yeah.
in a dashboard and you're not even really even opening them up, because then you
Yeah.
really are just wasting your money.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah.
for sure. And you do get free lead, like kind of like the referrals. Like I call them free leads in your system. If you guys see a link for your like lead gen website, with nothing kind of indicating Google, nothing like that, or Facebook,
Yeah.
that's typically a
Yeah.
lead in your system that's forwarded a listing to somebody that they know, right? They shared it with somebody.
Right.
So that could be very well the people that are already working with agents that are sending, like to have a friend or a family member or someone that they want
Hmm.
to share stuff with. So they could, without you even knowing it directly, are giving you referrals or leads in your system.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. You
Yeah.
can too, right? It's very
Mm-hmm.
true. How
Mm-hmm.
often do you promote yourself, your unbranded page,
Yeah.
or
Mm-hmm.
if you're getting your leads through your website, right? And there were
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
all these tricks that I did right from the get-go. And when I first started buying Google Leads, it was with another company, oh, maybe about 18, 16 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And listen, I was cheap. I was like, okay, well, I'm buying them, but how many could I actually get if I just start promoting the
Mm-hmm.
website? Like,
Yeah.
instead of my phone number on everything, why don't I just throw out taraleighrealestate.com? And
Yeah.
after a while, you'd be surprised how many were
Mm-hmm.
coming in. I call them organically, to be
Yeah.
honest,
Yeah.
right? You can
Mm-hmm.
get a lot
Absolutely.
more. Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
again, you're working on your business, right? You're not
Mm-hmm.
sitting and waiting for it to come to you. You're
Mm-hmm.
doing everything you can to push it out there.
Yeah. Exactly. I would say think
Yeah.
of yourself as a store. Your website's a store. Everything's a store. If you want someone to come transact with you, you have to let them know it exists, right?
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
they don't know it exists, they're not going to be buying anything.
You know what? I used this when I was teaching. I was teaching to our agents the Brian Buffini 100 Days to Greatness.
Mm-hmm.
You become a mentor and then you're allowed to teach it. And that's exactly the illustration I used, because he really is about, communication, the three C's, right? Community,
Mm-hmm.
communication, and care, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and I said the same thing. If you have a store, so let's say you opened up a t-shirt store and it's in a great plaza, you have to pay the lease every month. How do you get people in the door? What do you
Mm-hmm.
do? And then I would
Mm-hmm.
walk to everybody and say, tell me what you would do, right?
Yeah.
They would say, I would put an ad out. I would do ads on the internet. Some people said I would deliver flyers. And I'm like, exactly. You're bringing people in. Now you've got 100 t-shirts in this store and you've only sold 5.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do now to get people in? Do you hold a sale? Do you offer a buy one, get one free? What do you,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're
Yeah.
no different. We're the CEOs of our business, whether or not we're
Mm-hmm.
buying leads, whatever our pillars are.
Yeah.
We got to work them to fill that pipeline.
Hmm.
And so think about it that way. Think about it
Yeah,
that way, everybody. What do
absolutely.
we do just to, make it a bit different? I'll tell
Hmm.
you, we started this year because we were listing. I had a lot of listings, and of course, not a lot of people going through them. And I'm like, okay, well, doing open houses every weekend is bringing in some people, but I got to do more because clearly people aren't booking showings. Agents
Hmm.
aren't booking showings. So
Yeah.
then we started doing pop-up open houses,
Hmm.
right? As a realtor, we've always got to think outside of the box to make it happen. When I
Hmm.
started doing pop-up open houses, so let's say a Wednesday for 2 hours and then
Yeah.
a Saturday and Sunday, now all of a sudden I get two people through, two groups of people through Wednesday. I get a group of people through Saturday. I get three groups of people through Sunday. Well, guess what? I've now got six showings.
Yeah.
Had I not have done it, there would have been zero,
Yeah.
right? Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Sorry. I see
absolutely.
Noelle saying something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she was just commenting on the agent. She said which is very true, as many of them will say they have an agent just to get you off the phone. It is one of the
Yeah.
fastest ways to stumble. A lot of individuals that aren't brushed up on their lead objection skills. And then she says, I've had this happen, so I still check in every once in a while, more times than I thought would happen. I have
Great.
ended up representing them. So, or the agent they said they were
Wow.
working with turns out not to be so great. So I am able to turn them into a client, right?
Thank you.
So it's
Thank
just
you.
saying in touch, put these people in a section of your CRM, you're labeling them. Then
Yeah.
if you have your filters, you're not staring, we should all be using our filters anyway, not just staring at 1,500 leads. Then
Ah.
they're kind of put into a
Yeah.
category where you can choose to kind of look at them and their activity, just to see what they're up to. But yeah, I always say, like, periodically check in, be customer service focused, see how the listings are doing. Can I make any tweaks to make this easier for
Right.
you?
Right.
Right?
I'm really glad, Noelle, that you shared that
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes I think, I'm sure everybody gets sick of me saying the same things over and over again, but it's a perfect example where some realtors, and I know this to be true, will automatically just delete them off the dashboard. Be okay, well, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna, you know what I mean? And of
Yeah.
course I understand. Oh, they said they're working with somebody, right? But at the end of the day, looking at the big picture, you would never have had that deal, Noelle,
No.
had you not have just checked in and said, "Are things still going okay? I'm still here."
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion.
No.
Good for you and good for
Mm-hmm.
sharing that. These are the stories that we need to hear, the success stories,
Yes.
right? That kind of
Absolutely.
keep our we're still in the game because we still know that it's true. Like
Yes.
this, we just got to work it. We just got to remain in there. Remember what I always say, everybody. It's not up to us when they buy a house, it's up to the lead. But
Mm-hmm.
what we can do is we can continue to be there for them with positivity
Yes.
and kindness and a soft approach. So when the time is right for them, they're going to think of you, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
delete too quickly, you've lost them altogether.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Altogether.
100%.
Yep. Yep.
It's
Wow. That's exciting. I'm happy
yeah,
for her. What a great
yeah,
story.
absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, I think if there's any last or final questions, we're almost up here at the hour. It's a good
Went by quick.
interactive today. And again, I did put Tara's email in the everyone chat. If you didn't happen to catch it, I'll actually throw it in again right now, just in case everyone did miss it. But if you do
Happy to
want
help.
to, if anyone needs to reach out or would like to reach out to Tara with regard to B.E.A.T, she's obviously going to be the one that'll be able to provide you the most insight and cost and when it starts and all that, all the fun details.
I'm
But
excited.
I think
And
we're all
and if you have
excited for that.
questions, any
Yeah.
questions about leads, I'm always
Yeah.
I'm always happy to help. Sometimes I have to get back to you, but I'm always happy to help.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Oh,
Awesome.
thank you, Austin. He's my son. I'll pay you later. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Hopefully you guys got everything you needed and we will
Yes.
see you in a
A
month,
month,
I guess.
I
I guess
guess.
a month.
Yeah. Well, we'll
Yeah.
see. Like, we'll see what we do December, because that'll put us like, yeah, we'll see. we'll see what our plan is. So whether it's
Okay.
December or we do one of those fun, I think it was January we did that other one last time, getting everyone, all the coaches on board.
Oh, thank
Right.
you. Oh, Noelle. Oh,
Yeah.
we tear. You have to email me. Oh, very nice. Thank you. Thank you. I
Oh,
always come from a place of heart for sure. And that's
good.
why I have the coaching company and that's why I wrote this course. Because guess what? I'm no different than you guys. In this
Mm-hmm.
market, it started to beat Tara down, let me tell you. And I
Yeah.
was like, hell no. Hell no. So we're all in this together. Take care.
Awesome.
Peace
Perfect.
out.
Thanks, Tara. Thanks,
All
everyone. See
right.
you again.
Bye,
Alrighty.
everybody.
Bye.